Okay, so we are, interesting enough, we are in Chatsworth here on Zelzah and Chatsworth Boulevard. Okay, so this is sort of a significant location, even though it's worldwide. Okay, so in 2017, the illegal Charles Shawn Dincy arrests in 2017. I went through like hundreds and hundreds of lawyers provoking me, and we're really not going to represent you no matter what, no matter how much you pay anyone. Your kind is not allowed to exist. Okay, so Seymour Amster was the lawyer who intentionally lost that case. Okay, 2 pairs of 2s there. And, okay, we have a Starbucks here. This is interesting because I remember stopping here and all these cars were parked normal. And I remember people were actually running out and jumping in the car and parking them backwards because they saw me in there. That was before it really, I mean, it's always been bad. But, okay, in this corner here, 3s backwards. And then obviously after that, cars were showing up backwards. And so I witnessed the entire pairs of 2s here backwards in the corner. The entire event starts where most people parked normally, and then they saw Kevin Perlman. If you see Kevin Perlman anywhere worldwide, do these things, okay, to try to make him look like a violent, paranoid schizophrenic. Okay, so Seymour Amster, I dropped off an 8 terabyte, I believe it was like an 8 terabyte hard drive of all these different types of mental illness attacks, from the clothing colors, the verbal harassments, the death threats, the police threats, you name it. Okay, let's see the grouping of 3s here backwards, and then it's interesting because this area is a higher amount of forwards or normal, but then you sort of see the groupings like these 2 over here backwards. Okay, so Seymour said, well, drop it off, don't bring it to my office, drop it off here at this package place, which is the something hub. Now the significance of that is Mike Huntley routing our network switch or hub to Golden State Sports medical office into my father's office. Okay, so that my father and his employees and paid off people could inject Trojans or install agents or Trojans. This is a common tactic. See how these 2 cars are sort of pointing towards each other backwards? That may or may not be here. And I'll just note these 2 whites, which may or may not be, because that if you go from a high aerial position, like up 400 feet or whatever, you can really, 2 whites here, but they're forwards, you can really start to see the pattern of whites together. But you can't see it on the ground, or you can, but it's really hard to see how they clump in patterns that don't look random. And some of these things are and some of them aren't, because you're dealing with pure worldwide insanity directed at a single individual. Example, as we come back to this corner here, okay, look at how all these are forwards and then pairs of 2s backwards. Okay, so now Seymour Amster said drop the package off here, and what he was doing was trying to send idea of reference schizophrenia messages while being paid lots of money. I'll just note these 2 blues, which may or may not be. Okay, he's being paid money to represent me and hold the oath to the California bar, and yet he, like all other lawyers, like Richard Barnwell, see the 3 whites here that I'll say may or may not be, and then look at the 2 blues here, and then we sort of see a clumping of reds. Okay, and some of these are and some aren't, because let's just say 80% are, but there's going to be people that get caught in the mix, okay? So look at the clumpings of 2 reds here, just like some of the other parking lots. in obvious methods. And then if we go up, okay, so where did he want me to deliver the package? Was over here. Let's see, where is it? The mail hub over here. Without hitting a tree. Mail and ship hub. Okay, and he's hinting about hubs, and he's trying to, what is he trying to do? That's the question. Well, he's trying to send idea of reference messages to make someone look like a schizophrenic, to try to make removing them from society look justified. Okay, pairs of twos here backwards, and then we're going to have the random other backwards, but when the parking lot, pairs of twos here backwards, if this was like 2 a.m. and this parking lot was empty, you would see the pairs of twos together and all the sort of the spacing of everyone gone. Okay, does that make sense? So pairs of reds, yeah, the reds are sort of grouping. Okay, they're trying to. And when we see them together, like side by side at each lot and backwards side by side, you really start to understand what's going on. Okay, now obviously it's like preaching to the choir, because there's a planet of people that want me dead since I was 5 years old, and they're going to say and do whatever it takes with the judicial system and my family to make that happen for reasons I can't comprehend. Okay, so you find out Mike Huntley's death threats before you even really know what the hell's going on. World of paranoia, have a good life now. We're using the judicial system against you. By the mattress firm here, pairs of twos backwards. Okay, and then we sort of have a clump here as well. And now let's sort of check out the other area. So remember that they get angry, no relaxing for you, nigger, means, what does that mean? Well, it means that we don't want you staying still. We want to make you look like a shark and you're an evil monster and you play pool, you used to play pool and you used to play pool tournaments and you sharked someone and you're an evil monster and we're going to torture you and kill you. But what's it really about? Okay, so towards the edge, the three there backwards towards the edge. And this really gets bad around 2011, where most cars at shopping centers or everywhere predominantly parked forward. So what changed everyone worldwide's thought process? At the same time, while verbally harassing me and spying on me with their violating privacy with their spy game tactics. Okay, now this is interesting because this is an area where I used to go to a car meet I found off the internet. First I'm going to note the clumping of reds. But also, so I don't know if they still do, every Tuesday they used to meet right here, and we had like a Trans Am, 6.6 Trans Am trailer trash, blonde hick, which was angry because she didn't like Jews, and, you know, I told you to park over there, and, you know, she wants to boss someone around, and really set them up. Okay, so I'm just going to say there's a good amount of red cars here. Which wasn't here based on yesterday's flight. I think that was yesterday. And this lot on yesterday's flight, it was really windy. Didn't have all these red cars, and most of these were forwards. Which will be after this. And we're running low on battery here, so let's start to see how, and I'm not sure yet, but this parking lot looks predominantly closer to normal, how things were worldwide. This red car's backwards. In 2011. Okay, so red cars. I don't think if I look at yesterday's video that you're going to see almost no red cars here. I think there's twos backwards right here. And then that's interesting because most of this lot is closer to normal, and that's hard to find. Okay, here's an obvious one. Two red cars there. Okay, and see the clearing? We gotta fly back. My battery's low. But okay, so that's sort of, let's head back. We're extremely low on battery. 2 reds and 2 oranges, 3 reds all grouped, 2 oranges grouped, and let's get back. Okay, so and they're by the edge of the road, and it's interesting because when I flew here yesterday, or it might have been 2 days ago, it wasn't this bad. It was bad, but it wasn't this bad. Here's the original 2s there. And then we have, I think, here's hard to see, 3 or 4 backwards, and now remember some of the death threats from the guy with the police trained canine in my neighborhood. You're a snitch, you're dead. You better accept what's going on, or it's going to get a lot worse for you. And that's mixed with other people's no relaxing for you, nigger. In other words, we're going to keep whipping you, and you don't talk or we kill you. Okay, so you can kind of look at some of the key markings from some of the rotating neighbors for the last 10 years, which the judicial system and police don't think is wrong. They just want reactions. Okay, now why? To exterminate or eradicate at all costs a 5-year-old Jewish child. Okay, so this is a day or two before, and it is extremely windy. I'm guessing it's 10 to 15 mile per hour gusts, maybe even more. This is also, I think, my 3rd flight with the Neo 2, so I was fairly nervous with these winds because I didn't know what this drone could deal with, and I was more focused on keeping the drone safe than actually looking around. As you can see, the same spot here. There's a lot more cars backwards in this same spot here, but in that corner, and then there's a very large grouping. But the lot across the street, I think we'll see, is a lot closer to normal. So what that says is that, example, no relaxing for you, nigger, and you better accept what's going on or it's going to get a lot worse. Well, they see me in a location. They probably even see me flying, and they go, well, now it's going to get worse for you because you have an opinion about us hunting you to kill or eradicate you with our world of paranoia or worldwide whippings for kissing a black girl at 8 years old. Okay, so, and it doesn't make sense because nobody would care. Okay, it's not really about that, but they want me to brainwash me into thinking that I deserve it, or that I'm a glutton for punishment, or I'm hurting myself over some kind of guilt. Example, I'm harboring guilt for things that don't matter, so I need to get help, or whatever angle they're working on. Okay, so you can see a good amount of randomy things here. Okay, here's pairs of 2s, whites backwards. And then you can see some by themselves backwards, but you can really see right here how everything's sort of forward, and then 2 whites backwards. Looks like some reds maybe wanting to be by each other. And this area isn't as bad, I'm going to say 2 days prior, right, as it is in the last video. And we're really, you're trying to analyze 1,000 cars per minute, so it's very difficult. One of the tell signs is that when they see me, you can see them get angry and park backwards next to me and things like that, and you can even make eye contact and see what their facial expression looks like, and if they get really angry. Okay, pairs of 2s right here together. They just flew over pretty fast. So that's okay. Pairs of 2, pair of 1, 2, 3, 3s together there, backwards. And then once again we have the pairs of 2s. See how the reds? We have scattered reds, but still, you can see the pairs of 2s, the reds here together, and you can see that they want to be by each other. Okay. And technically there are red cars, but there's a lot less red cars than the average car color. I don't know why, but I think most people want more of a modest color. Okay, two whites together here backwards. Okay, and then you kind of look around and everything's sort of closer to forwards. And then obviously we have our randoms by themselves backwards. But okay, once again, two more whites backwards by the mattress store. So you can see that they're pairing, they're creating groups. And in this, it's interesting in this little corner here to the left that we have 4 or 5 backwards together, just like 2 days afterwards, right? Like so, and I noticed a pattern of that the people rotate, but they do the same things in the same spots, especially by the areas where I'm at. They'll keep rotating, but it'll change people. So the tactic always stays the same, but the people, it becomes different people, and that also applies to the verbal harassments. Like example, when I found out 25 years ago, okay, so this is the other lot, and look at the difference, okay? Look at how almost everything here is forwards, and I don't think we see many reds. And 2 days later, it's extremely aggressive. After, hey, Kevin was in this area. Kevin came down here. Kevin was in this area. Okay, we got to make sure he's never in this area. He better not ever come back to our city. And this will happen at every city worldwide since 5 years old because he's a public nuisance. Okay, two blues together here because he's a public nuisance, but we don't know why he's a public nuisance because he didn't do anything wrong. But he's a public nuisance, so says the police. We have proof. LAPD making up these cover-up statements, blasting it worldwide, called defamation of character, to cover up their worldwide operations to execute me at all costs. Okay, so look at this lot. Look at how everything, not everything, but 90%, which is rare, is forwards, is parked normal. Just like 2011, okay? There is a backwards here. And there are some slight patterny things like the two blues, but it's not like 2 days later. Okay, so the police, no relaxing for you, nigger, you piece of shit, you kissed a black girl when you were 8 years old, and we're going to hunt you and kill you with your family every day of your life. Since then, or actually it starts around 5, with changing excuses just like that of things that don't matter, with teachers in elementary school and high school, and then it's about communication skills, and then it's about, but guess what? Nothing justifies hunting and killing people and making people crazy and trying to execute them. Okay, even if I did supposedly have bad communication skills. Okay, so this is the point where it is extremely windy. My battery's getting low, 30%. I'm starting to fly back. I'm realizing that I'm downwind and I can fly that way. But this way, so I'm really nervous at this point. Going, I better get this thing out of the air. And okay, so this was the beginning area here, and then I think we're pretty much coming back. Okay, so the point here is that why did that area, I'm going to say 2 days later instead of 1 day, get so bad? Okay, so just like another video of mine where the private investigator's coming out and they all know to clear out while he's on his way. And that happened twice. How is it? Okay, right in front, the two whites backwards. In this side of the lot, there's just on this video alone, there's like I'm guessing 5 pairs of two whites backwards, and there's probably a lot more. You get the idea. So why did that lot, Kevin was here, ramp up the attacks in case he ever comes back, and this is a common thing with coffee shops and the no relaxing for you nigger death threats and their worldwide kill operations, because why would someone be allowed to relax and be healthy and focus on getting work done or whatever it may be? It makes no sense other than there's information in my brain from growing up that the police and government, the psychology community, and the mass worldwide groups involved, the city-wide groups that were told to hunt me to have me killed or eradicated in more subtler methods, growing up, don't want coming to light.